Hi, everybody. We're in New York City today on 38th Street talking to Tyler Pierce, head of sales for Norse Atlantic Airways. Tyler, thanks so much for taking the time. I know you're busy. Come over here and have a conversation with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Excited to be here. Excited to talk more about Norse and our fantastic partnership with APG.
It is a great partnership, and it's an exciting topic. I mean, who doesn't like to talk about the airlines? It's people's favorite subject these days, traveling. Whether it be good or bad, people love to talk about it.
They do. International travel is definitely back in full swing. People are doing it. People are loving it, and they got to get away, have a way to get there.
And a nice way to get there, in style. So speaking of that, tell us about Norse Atlantic. What makes it different? What's it revolve around? What are the concepts that make it the way to go to Europe?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say Norse Atlantic Airways, we consider ourselves, we like to say, a high-value long-haul carrier. And the reason we say high value is because we provide both comfort and savings. Right. The way we do that is we fly all nonstop point-to-point routes from the U.S. to Europe and others over on the other side of the world as well. And we do this all on Boeing 787 Dreamliners. So, one of the nicest aircraft in the sky. We have a standard economy like you would see on just about any other carrier, any legacy, and a pretty unique premium product, which is a really, really interesting class of its own, kind of in between today's standard premium economy and more of a lie-flat business. So it's kind of a class in between the two, and we do this all with having some of the best fares in the market.
Awesome. Let's talk about premium for a second. If you compared your premium product with, say, one of the legacy carriers, maybe at the high end there's Emirates, where it's crazy luxury, and then you've got kind of the legacy carriers, and then you've got Norse. What would you say the difference is? Because it looks great.
Yeah, I'd say so. Norse Premium is it's perfect for those travelers that they want to upgrade from economy. They want the next level up. They want that level of comfort and service provided. But their maybe business class is kind of a little out of the price range, right? Or out of the budget, right? So comparatively to a lot of other carriers, kind of standard premium economy product, Norse's seat is it's a wider seat. It has a bigger recline or a better recline. It has a bigger pitch. So the seat itself is almost more like a domestic first class seat on a Dreamliner, which is kind of a beautiful product.
If I put a couple of my best clients, right, which is the hardest thing for an agent to do, right, is to trust a product they've never sold before with their best clients, because all it takes is one bad experience and that's it, they lose them. If I put my two best clients in premium, do they get to walk on the plane by themselves, or do they have to go? Do they go with all the coach passengers? Great
question. Yeah, so that's another huge benefit of Norse's Premium is you do get all those typical like bells and whistles, all the amenities that come with being in the front of the plane. So we do have premium boarding. They board first. They actually deboard first as well. They get priority check-in, so you don't have to wait in the standard check-in line. All meals and drinks for free. Free amenity items like eye mask, headphones, earplugs, you name it. So it's really that typical front cabin kind of experience.
Amazing. For half the price of one of the legacy carriers.
I'd say, yeah. So I actually just looked this up recently from our U.S. point of origin routes. Average premium fare right now is slightly over $700 one way, I think.
Oh, that's it. What a bargain.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, you mentioned food. I have never, ever heard anyone say, let's go to Oslo and get some really good Norwegian food. So what kind of food can they expect on your airline?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that's one of the great parts about Norse as well, is while we are a Norwegian carrier and we stay true to our Nordic roots, we do provide service all over the world, right? So it's not just to Oslo. We go point to point to London, Paris, Berlin, Athens, Rome, and of course Oslo from a variety of different U.S. gateways. So, it's not that typical layover kind of experience where you're going to Oslo first and then going somewhere else. All nonstop point to point to a variety of these destinations. But on board, the food is good. We have a great catering partner. We do the product or the fare that we sell through our APG partnership is our standard fare, which is called our classic fare bundle. This does include a meal service as well. So, being considered a low fare kind of carrier, the tickets that people are getting through our partnership and through the GDS are inclusive of a meal.
And a checked bag.
And a checked bag and a carry-on and the personal item.
So it can be really easy to make that mistake where an agent picks the wrong bucket innocently and the clients get to the airport and get charged for a bag. So it's such a great option that they don't have that option. Because who wants to go to Europe for 2 weeks with no bag anyway?
Right.
But you mentioned the different fare bundles. So how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So through our website and through some other distribution channels, we sell 3 different types of fares in both our economy and premium classes. So our first fare, our lowest fare, is what we call light. This is more of the basic economy kind of style, a la carte kind of style, right? So you get access to the plane. Seat assignment is an additional purchase. You do get a carry-on and a personal item with our light fares. But everything else is ancillary, right? So if you want to buy meals, you can do so ahead of time, or you can do so on board. Additional bags would be additional. It's, again, more of the a la carte style. Then our next fare class or fare bundle up is our classic fare. That's the one I just explained, where it's really more of the true traditional kind of fare. Then we have what we call our Flextra fare. This provides a bit more flexibility, I'd say, in terms of cancellations and refundability. It does provide a bit more ancillaries as well, so a seat assignment is included in the Flextra fares. And then, if you book any of these fare classes or fare bundles in the premium cabin, it still comes with all the bells and whistles that come with the premium cabin, right? So you get both meals for free. You get the premium boarding and the priority check-in, all the things that are traditional to in the premium cabin come with all the fare bundles.
So it's everything's kind of bundled. Instead of the a la carte, you get a ticket, you get a seat, you get a meal, you get a bag, and it's all in one price. That's perfect for clients that like expect a little bit more service, and expect a little bit more care, whereas the light bundles would be like for kids that have a backpack full of clothes and they're going to Europe for a month.
There's a lot of different types of travelers out there. Some people just want to get there and maybe backpack around, and they're okay with just bringing a carry-on bag for their month trip around Europe. And then there are certainly people that might have families with kids and they have to bring multiple checked bags, and they want to make sure the kids get food on board and all these different things, right? And then, of course, there's the travelers that need more flexibility. They want to be able to cancel and refund, and they want to make sure they have a seat assignment. So we cater to just about everybody, every type of traveler there is.
Fantastic. Since you mentioned the partnership that we have, let's talk a little bit about how this works for our agent communities that need to understand. So in the GDS, APG is in all GDSs around the world. In the United States, it's Travelport, Amadeus, and Sabre. And when an agent looks at a city pair that you operate in, they will see one of your flights on our code share, which is the marketing code is A1. So you'll see A1 operated by Norse Atlantic. And it's important, I think, for the agents to know that all the usual and customary booking practices that have applied to carriers for 75 years now in the GDS apply to Norse. So sales, ticketing, schedule changes, refunds, it's all done via the GDS on this code share that we've got, which would be like a Delta KLM code share, same thing, or American and Finnair, same thing. It's all done in the GDS, and an agent can be confident that all these things occurred just the way they're used to them occurring. If there's a schedule change, we're going to send it out in their queues. Refunds handled the same way. One thing that's a little different are seat assignments. I thought we could talk about that for a minute, because you could talk a little bit about how seat assignments are done, because that's a little different.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd start by saying, we are so excited for this partnership getting us into the GDS through APG. Like you said, it puts us in all the major GDS out there, which just opens up a whole world of opportunity for Norse. And we're really excited, and it's going fantastically well. For seat assignments, yes. So I did mention our classic fare does not include a seat assignment. If you choose not to purchase a seat, you will be assigned one. It's not, whatever open seating on the plane. But many people do like to actually choose the seat that they're flying in, right? So the way that we do that is once the ticket's been purchased through APG, they do get a record locator, a PNR from APG.
Okay.
Right? And we've programmed our website to be able to accept that under our Your Trips tab. So, similar to other airlines and other reservations across the travel organization, right? You can always go into your reservation through the company's website. Our website's just flynorse.com. We have Your Trips tab. So we can take the APG PNR, the customer's last name, and you'll be able to access the reservation through that channel. And here you can purchase all types of ancillaries, seat assignment being one of them. So you can purchase your seat ahead of time. You could purchase meals, additional baggage, additional ancillaries, whatever it is that you need. This is kind of where you manage all of those ancillary items.
I've got to say that's pretty unique. That you guys have done that development and make it easier for an agent or a passenger to find their record on the website and kind of add all these ancillary things that people are excited about when they travel. When we talk about GDSs, I just have to put in a word in defense of the GDS. At one point, 100% of all the tickets issued in the world were done in the GDS, almost, not counting airline direct sales. And it's been dwindling. Maybe it's 70% now, but every OTA in the world, every retail travel agency, mom and pop or bigger or TMC, they all use the GDS, and that is where the action is. And it is so great to see Norse Atlantic in the mix, because you've got to be in the mix. If you want to win, you got to play the game. You got to be on the field, right? And we look at it as a great leveling. You're in the GDS just like Delta is, just like American is, just like United is. No difference. So we know that it's going to be a huge success. I think it already is. We're seeing some really good numbers come across. So what's next? So let's talk a little bit about the gateways from the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we operate out 4 major U.S. gateways. New York's JFK, LAX, Miami, and Orlando. So what's really another incredible aspect of Norse here is that we're flying out of major gateways, right? We're not flying out of some small airport out in the middle of nowhere that has a really small catchment area. These are huge catchment areas, very, very popular gateways, and places people can connect from, right? Get over to New York, go to JFK, then here's your quick little hop over to Europe, right? And so we're really excited about those gateways. And then of course, they operate a number of different routes. So JFK is our largest. JFK goes to London, Paris, Berlin, Athens, Rome, Oslo. We operate most of our routes out of JFK. LAX being the second largest. From LA, we go to London, Paris, Rome, and just this month we launched LA Athens, which we were very excited about. And then Orlando and Miami both have one route each to London.
You mentioned Athens, which I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's ever been nonstop service between LAX and Athens before.
I don't know about ever, but I think we're the only ones right now.
It's a monopoly route. It doesn't get any better than that. So the best wishes with it. I'm sure that there's a growing demand, or you guys wouldn't be there. Right, but we used to call it here in the States like the Southwest effect. Whereas you fly there and they will come, and the market expands 30% just because there's a way for them to get there now. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Athens is going to see this influx of what do they call them, Angelinos, right?
Yeah, I think it was actually our best launch ever, from my understanding, or one of our best route launches ever, and it continues to grow. It's really exciting. I'd say Athens and Rome seem to be some of the most popular routes across our network right now. Specifically through the GDS, I think we see a lot of our London routes being booked through agents in the GDS channel.
The agents that are doing this outside of the OTAs, and even they have, their regulars. The agents that are doing this, we see more and more, have a very strong followings of dedicated travelers that count on them to make the right decisions for them, get them in the right places. And maybe in that respect, we should get some of them on board and some of the key ones and take them over and let them see for themselves what a great product it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love our network, because I think it's a great opportunity for agents to showcase their expertise, right? Like I said, these are very popular gateways, very popular routes, but a brand new option in these markets. Right. So for an agent to be able to come to maybe an experienced traveler who's been over to Europe and knows these routes and knows these destinations, for an agent to say, hey, here's a brand new option that's both comfortable and affordable, that really showcases their knowledge in the market and to be able to provide more value to their clients.
That is a great point. It's not like there are billboards all over the country that say fly Norse Atlantic to Paris, right?
Not yet.
There aren't, right? Not yet. So we need these travel agents, right? The respected ones and the ones with the followings to get on board and recommend to their clients, right? What a great thing it is. And they'll recognize that, we've seen airlines, they come and they go. And from the GSA side, which is what we do, it's like you'll see airlines come in and some of them will listen and they succeed. They want to come in from a foreign country and they want to be like, okay, here's how we do business. American travel agents, now sell it. And when that doesn't happen, then they don't last very long. But I see with Norse, you guys have done everything that you need to do to fit into the agency style of selling, which is so important. Otherwise, they just don't sell it.
Right. Yeah, I love some of our mentality as being like a new, younger kind of boutique airline. We're doing different things and trying things differently. We have a tech team that's constantly doing A/B testing to see how the website works better, if this works better than that. Our revenue management team is very involved with the tech team to see how do we balance things out? How do we make sure we're providing these affordable fares while also providing a profitable airline route as well, right? So we're doing a lot of these really different things, and I think it's great to be able to have leadership that trusts in us to be able to take information from the market to relay that back to them and say, hey, this is what we need, this is what the agents need and what the market needs, and how do we kind of react appropriately to that.
Being nimble is so important. We don't have to go through layers and layers and layers of management to get a decision made. That is how you stay in business in a market that changes as fast as this one does.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving and changing and turning into something else.
It is, and it's a really exciting time because I was just reading some articles recently that actually said even with everything going on, international travel's pretty much still, for the most part, in people's minds, hopefully on the rise, should continue to grow over the next couple of years. So it's a great time for us as an airline to enter and provide new value to the market, and it's really exciting to be working with APG to open up this whole different side of the business. For the first couple of years of us flying, have been mostly directly to the consumer through our website, and now this just opens up a whole new world of opportunity and a really exciting time.
To borrow a quote from one of my favorite OTAs, you can put the best fares you want on your website, right? It'll be a tiny little, the eyes that see those fares, tiny, tiny little fraction compared to the eyeballs that will be looking at it in the GDS, right? And some of the OTAs especially, by a factor of millions. And that's exactly what you need. And you're going about the right way. I like the word you use, boutique, because out there in the airline ecosystem, we've got legacy carriers, we've got private flying, we've got low cost, right? And then we've got this kind of hybrid in the middle boutique experience, which is a great, like you said, it's high value, right? You get a lot for the money that your clients pay to go. Between the meals, between a brand new airline, between the service on board and the great destinations, it's got the makings of a perfect vacation, right?
It does, and I mean, you see this boutique hotel just chains popping up all over the place now, right? That seems to be the new rise, the new whatever you want to call it. And I feel like there's not that many airlines that are in that market or in that space. So I think it's a really interesting kind of opportunity for us to enter in early, hopefully gain some support and some followers and some loyal travelers, and take hold of that kind of boutique travel market.
Leads me to ask a question. What's next for Norse? We've seen, a big splash in the United States with 4 gateways and then all these European destinations. Would you say that increasing destinations or being deeper, like maybe more frequencies, which way do you see it headed in the future?
Yeah, I'd say in the immediate future. So we actually just moved forward with a really exciting partnership with Indigo. And they're actually going to be leasing some of our aircraft, which is really exciting. It really provides stability for us as an organization for the next couple of years. I believe it's a 3-year deal, which is really, really exciting, because as a young company, we need to make sure we are paying the bills and making sure we can stay alive, right?
Even old companies got to pay the bills.
That's true. Right? Yes, that's true. But so it's a really, really exciting time to be able to, or partnership that we're moving forward with. So I think in terms of the network right now, it'll probably stay pretty consistent to what we have. Next summer might actually even reduce slightly, just because they will be taking 6 aircraft in total by the end of this year. But I think it has been said commercially that long term we would like to, we don't want to get rid of our scheduled commercial network, right? We want to continue being in the routes that we operate well, the routes that support the market, and then as as we grow and as this partnership develops with Indigo, or if it comes to an end, or however we see it playing out, we would, I believe, like to return kind of more to the scheduled network if possible, and grow that from there. So, we still have a team that's constantly evaluating route opportunity. We as a sales team are constantly providing feedback, which they might like or dislike, who knows, but we as salespeople like to provide that feedback.
Yes.
I think in terms of the network, we're still kind of finalizing 2026. We have most, I'd say, of what we're going to fly loaded right now. But there's a couple routes that we're kind of identifying, how do we move forward with this in relation to the Indigo partnership.
Exciting. Let me mention, as part of the APG partnership, on every Norse ticket that is sold, we have what we call total security package, right? And because it's our ticket, we will offer to agents who take advantage of booking in the GDS 1 free change, right? So prior to departure, they can change a ticket, and we're not going to charge them the penalty fee. Now, ad collects, that's a different story. You always have to pay the ad collect, but we're not going to charge them one time to make a change, which we think gives us a big leg up on some of the competition. That's a great benefit to have. The other thing is we offer, included in this ticket, Blue Ribbon Bags service. So if it applies to all the bags in the reservation, right? And if a bag is mishandled, God forbid, if it's not returned to the customer within 96 hours, there's $1,000 payment that is sent via wire immediately. And that is part of it that doesn't cost anything. I want to mention, too, that we are not a consolidator. So we don't mark up fares or anything like that. But these are the published fares that you deliver to us, and we just put them in the GDS. And there's no markup. There's no service fee. There's no surcharges. It's just exactly what it is, the published fare. Is there any possibility in the future, or is there any avenue for an agent that has a lot of Europe business? If they wanted to talk about groups, for example, how could that be done?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say this is kind of my role, and my team's role is focusing on that B2B space and commercial partnerships in that area, right? So we actually have now with APG a variety of different private fare programs available. So it can be, we have net fares that provide a discount that are eligible for markup. We have tour fares that basically provide the same incentives with extended ticketing time limits. We even newly came out with more of a traditional upfront time of ticketing commission, mostly for the U.S. Agents and organizations. And yeah, we are, I would first say, for any agent listening to this, we have a variety of these partnerships out there in U.S. organizations, U.S. agencies already, right? So you check with your organization, check with your agency, check with your preferred booking tool, consolidator, tour operator, whatever it is, and see if there are Norse incentives in the market, if there are private fares available. There may be, and just not sure of them just yet. This is a newer kind of release. I think we released it in the last couple months, so it's something that's growing, it's something that's developing out further. And then, I'm actively engaging all opportunity to discuss more partnerships with any agency that does have significant volume on Norse. So we do, just for a minimal annual segment requirement, we can basically shape a program, an incentive program, private fare program, for just about any agency or travel organization that wants to support us and partner with us.
Fantastic. Maybe with your permission, we could add maybe your email address at the end of this video.
Yes, absolutely.
People could just contact you.
Yep, tyler.pierce@flynorse.com.
Very good. Very good. One last thing I want to mention is that I know you mentioned in the past a kind of an agency support manual on the website, which might answer a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. How do you access that?
Yeah, so we have a ton of different support and relevant information online, and both through myself as well. So I'd say, firstly, in terms of ticketing support, we are very fortunate to have APG actually being the ticketing and issuing carrier. So APG provides all ticketing support at a very high level and locally as well. So that's a tremendous value. That's always kind of one of the first pieces agents look for, is how am I going to get support on the ticket if I need it. So we're extremely fortunate to have APG as a partner there. In terms of general support, we have a variety of different portals or avenues where you can learn more. I'd say we do have an agent portal, which is just agent.flynorse.com.
Okay.
This is a developing kind of work in progress, but here you can find a lot of information on the partnership with APG, how to ticket, frequently asked questions in terms of the partnership and in terms of GDS bookings and things like that. We also have a very well built out support page on our general website, which is just flynorse.com. Here you can learn more about policies, ancillary fees, file any claims. We also have a little chat bot we call Odin. It's actually really helpful. There's a long FAQ in there, so I'll use Odin to just type in something to direct me straight to the point in the FAQ of where I can learn this information. So it's really, really helpful that way. And then from more of like a specific partnership perspective, firstly, I'd say I'm available to all of our U.S. partners for webinars, educational sessions, office hours, in-house events. I mean, you name it, whatever fits that organization, I'm happy to accommodate to teach their agents and their organization how to make our partnership a success. And then also when we do move forward with new partnerships, we have this little, implementation packet that we call a takeoff packet. So it's designed to provide all the information on Norse, on how to ticket, any contact details, product information, anything they should know in order for the partnership to take off in the right direction.
Brilliant. That's exactly what they need. I'm gonna quote a very old airline sales guy saying, right, which applies here. Without the human part that you mentioned, I appreciate what you said about APG, because there's a lot of platforms out there where you can find an airline and you can buy a ticket, but try to talk to somebody, that's the hard part. And our logo or our slogan is, think globally, act locally. And as I've been saying to airlines for years, without somebody to support the agent, an airline to a travel agent is nothing more than a line on a green screen. Mm-hmm. They have no idea anything about this airline, and they're too busy to look. So that's why you need somebody to work with them so they can say, oh yeah, Jeff was in last week and mentioned, this is Norse. This is that code he was talking about. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and we can book it. That kind of thing. And it sounds silly, but that's exactly how it happens. It's the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be able to get that support and local support and then at a high level is needed, right? I mean, if there's anything can happen in the travel world in any day traveling. So
and does.
yeah, I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens, right? So
I mean, like mountains of bags, Heathrow, and
yeah. So it's anything can happen in travel. So to be able to have that quick, high level local support is a huge value to us and to our partnership.
This has been really great. Is there anything else you want to mention before we call it quits for the day?
No, just I think thanks so much for having us, for setting this up. This has been tremendously valuable. Looking forward to everyone seeing this and hopefully reaching out for, wanting to support Norse and any partnership opportunities that may come up. Looking forward to expanding and developing our partnership out further and, seeing where we go to.
It's a good place that we're going to go to. I want to thank you for your time to come in. And I want to say to our agents that are watching this, send us your best passengers. We're going to take such good care of them. They will call you from the plane and thank you for recommending Norse Atlantic Airways. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.